Namaskar, Jai Shri Krishna. Widening text 17, text 18 and text 19 of chapter 6 Jnana Yoga of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Text 17. Yuktahar viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasu yukta swapanavabodhasya yogo bhavati dukkhaha. He who is regulated in his habits of eating, sleeping, recreation and work can mitigate all material pains by practicing the yoga system. Extravagance in the matter of eating, sleeping, defending and mating, which are demands of the body, can block advancement in the practice of yoga. As far as eating is concerned, it can be regulated only when one is practiced to take and accept prasadam, sanctified food. Lord Krishna is offered, according to the Bhagavad Gita 9.26, vegetables, flowers, fruits, grains, milk, etc. In this way, a person in Krishna's consciousness becomes automatically trained not to accept food not meant for human consumption or not in the category of goodness. As far as sleeping is concerned, a Krishna's conscious person is always alert in the discharge of his duties in Krishna's consciousness, and therefore any unnecessary time spent sleeping is considered a great loss. Avyartha kalatvam. A Krishna's conscious person cannot bear to pass a minute of his life without being engaged in the service of the Lord. Therefore, his sleeping is kept to a minimum. His ideal in this respect is Srila Rupa Goswami, who was always engaged in the service of Krishna and who could not sleep more than 2 hours a day, and sometimes not even that. Thakur Haridas would not even accept prasadam nor even sleep for a moment without finishing his daily routine of chanting with his beads 300,000 names. As far as work is concerned, a Krishna's conscious person does not do anything which is not connected with Krishna's interest, and thus his work is always regulated and is untainted by sense gratification. Since there is no question of sense gratification, there is no material leisure for a person in Krishna's consciousness, and because he is regulated in all his work, speech, sleep, wakefulness and all other bodily activities, there is no material misery for him. Text 18. Yada viniyatam chittamat manne vavtishthate nispruhah sarvakamebhyo yukta itayuchyate tada. When the yogi, by practice of yoga, disciplines his mental activities and becomes situated in transcendence, devoid of all material desires, he is said to be well established in yoga. The activities of the yogi are distinguished from those of an ordinary person by his characteristic cessation from all kinds of material desires, of which sex is the chief. A perfect yogi is so well disciplined in the activities of the mind that he can no longer be disturbed by any kind of material desire. This perfectional stage can automatically be attained by persons in Krishna's consciousness as stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam 9.4.18-20. Savai Manoha Krishna Padara Vindayor Vachamsi Vaikuntha Gunanu Varnane करौ हरेर मंदिरा मार्जना दिसु श्रुतिम चकारा च्युत सत कथोदये मुकुंद लिंगालय दर्शने दृशौ तदभृत्य गात्र स्पर्शे अंग संगमम गृहाणम च ततपाद सरोजा सौरभे श्रीमत्तुलस्य रसणं तद अर्पिते पादौ हरेः क्षेत्र पदानुसर्पणे शिरो ऋषिकेशा पदाभिवन्दने कामं च दास्यनातु कामकाम्यया यथोत्तम श्लोक Janashraya Ratiho. King Ambarish, first of all, engaged his mind on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, then one after another, he engaged his words in describing the transcendental qualities of the Lord. His hands in mopping the temple of the Lord, his ears in hearing of the activities of the Lord, his eyes in seeing the transcendental forms of the Lord, his body in touching the bodies of the devotees, his sense of smell in smelling the scents of the lotus flowers offered to the Lord, his tongue in tasting the tulsi leaf offered at the lotus feet of the Lord, his legs in going to places of pilgrimage and the temple of the Lord, his head in offering obeisances unto the Lord, and his desires in executing the mission of the Lord. All these transcendental activities are quite befitting a pure devotee. This transcendental stage may be inexpressible subjectively by the followers of the impersonalist path, but it becomes very easy and practical for a person in Krishna's consciousness, as is apparent in the above description of the engagements of Maharaj Ambarish. Unless the mind is fixed on the lotus feet of the Lord by constant remembrance, such transcendental engagements are not practical. In the devotional service of the Lord, therefore, these prescribed activities are called archana, or engaging all the senses in the service of the Lord. The senses and the mind require engagements. Simple abnegation is not practical. Therefore, for people in general, especially those who are not in the renounced order of life, such transcendental engagements of the senses and the mind as described above is the perfect process for transcendental achievement, which is called yukta in the Bhagavad Gita. Text 19. Yatha dipo nivatstho nengate sopama smrita yogino yatachittasya yunjato yogamat manaha. As a lamp in a windless place does not waver, so the transcendentalist, whose mind is controlled, remains always steady in his meditation on the transcendent self. A truly Krishna's conscious person, always absorbed in transcendence, in constant undisturbed meditation on his worshipable Lord, is as steady as a lamp in a windless place. Thank you.